Hey everybody, I'm Scott and welcome back to SJ's Lottery Models. I wanted to do this video earlier, but the creative juices haven't been flowing very well. Been trying to work on the Street Machine group build hosted by Blue Ox Model Shop. That was a bust, paint problems, and just wasn't going to get it done in time. And then moved on to the lottery build, which, as you saw in one of the last videos, was the AeroVet, and made some good progress on that. I will do a progress video in the next few days. But I thought we'd take a moment to look at, whoops, turned the wrong way. I thought we'd take a moment to look at the models that I have built over the course of the year, because today is the 1-year anniversary of the channel. So let's turn the camera around and see what we have. Okay, so this build I did for the 48-hour group build hosted by the Modeler during the summer. This is Daddy the Way Out Suburbanite. Most of the paint is Createx, though the wheels are chrome. What did I use? This ultra shiny fluid silver foil for the chrome. The tires are Tamiya rubber black. Great stuff, I recommend it. The coffin is Createx silver sealer with one of their candy reds over it. I believe it's candy blood red. The engine is more of the chrome. Oh, what else? The suit itself, I believe, is Createx gray. I hand painted the green face using craft paint that we found at Hobby Lobby. The eyes, I just made them bloodshot with a red Sharpie. And the hair, my own special touch, I cut apart a paintbrush and used the bristles as hair, so it looked more like the artwork. Box stock, got it done with about 5 minutes to spare for the 48-hour group build. And so this was another one done for 2025. Okay, we're going to start this one off with some kind of bad news. This was the last model that I completed for the channel. And as you can see, when I was taking it out of the case, I dropped it and it shattered all over the place. Looking at it now, to me, looks like that feeling that you get when you see there is no wizard. It's just a goofy guy behind a curtain pulling levers and pushing buttons. But, you know, these models do make up pieces and parts. And, yeah, pieces and parts and a lot of paint. Kind of upset that I dropped it, but sometimes that happens in model building. Will I rebuild this one? Will I buy a new one? I kind of have to look at the pieces and parts and see if anything can be saved. I'm sure some of it can. I'm not sure all of it. So, yeah, we'll pick up the pieces and we'll move on. So the next model that I'm going to show is actually the first model that I built for the channel. Is the Ed Roth Mysterion. I've been reading a little bit about Ed Roth here and there, as I've enjoyed reading about hot rods and looking at them and kind of getting to know their history. And I kind of came to appreciate Ed Roth a little too late. But I look forward to building more of his creations that have been put into models. I count myself lucky. When Heather and I went to Street Rod Nationals this year, I met his granddaughter, and she was actually selling Ed Roth merchandise, and I bought a Mysterion t-shirt. So here we have the Mysterion. The kit is a little fiddly, especially trying to fit the two engines there, and that frame is extremely flimsy with all the holes that are in it. I did discover too late that I have one of the engines mounted incorrectly, and it pushed forward on the Cyclops headlight, which broke it off. The only thing that's holding the headlight off on is the paint, and I didn't actually discover that until I finished it. But it was a neat build. It is a fun build, and I would like to build this again. It's all Createx paint. We did go to Hobby Lobby, and we got some fur for the interior. And yeah, you can see that's an old school TV in there. And let's see, we got stereo controls or something. Okay. But even though it was fiddly, it was a fun kit just because of the neat history on this car. I did learn that Ed Roth was mocking this car up with two Oldsmobile engines. And so if I build this again, and I hope I do, I would like to try to build it with the two Oldsmobile engines as he had originally envisioned. But, you know, the story that I read on Google said that someone saw him mocking up the car with the Oldsmobile engines. Someone made a call to Ford, and Ford gave him 3 of these Ford engines, and he put 2 of them in the Mysterion, and the rest is history. The paint does not quite match what the real car is, but I really wanted to give it a candy look. So this is Createx silver base coat, and they're candy yellow over top. It came out a little bit green, but I don't care. I like it. The canopy is Tamiya clear blue, and just went around the edge of that, whatever that is, with black magic marker. It's all pretty much box stock, and this was a really interesting build. Also, yeah, I did the white wall tires as the car circles around here. My first time ever creating white walls. So, first model for the channel, first time creating white walls, my first Ed Roth kit. A lot of firsts here. Even though, yeah, it does have some flaws, I am happy to put it in my display cabinet, and I would be happy to build this thing again. Okay, moving on to the next one. Okay, next up is my 70 Oldsmobile 442. I built this one box stock. The paint is MCW paint. I think I don't remember the name of this paint. But as you can see, everything is box stock. This was one of the few cars I actually did research on and discovered that a lot of the 442s had these red fiberglass front fenders. Probably to save weight, you know, because it is a muscle car and muscle cars are meant to go fast. But it's Tamiya paint, Testors paint, and MCW paint, whatever GM called that silver. Very few issues with this kit. You know, it just kind of wanted to go together. What did I do? I had to get this was my first kit that I've done photo etch. I had never done photo etch before, so that was a learning experience. and I had to buy a second photo etch kit because I kept losing stuff, and I messed up the decals and had to buy another kit just to rob it from decals, and those decals got messed up. So it went together pretty well, aside from my own clumsiness. And yeah, this would be a car I would be proud to drive. My first car was an Oldsmobile. It wasn't nearly this cool, but it was an Oldsmobile. We did lose a door handle, so I'm going to have to look into getting a replacement door handle. Who knows where that is, but this was the next lottery build. And as far as the transmission goes, you had an option of an automatic or a manual transmission. Well, because, it's SJ's lottery models, I flipped a coin and we got an automatic transmission. Wouldn't have been my first choice if I owned this muscle car for real, but, you know, it is SJ's lottery models. We play the lottery, and that's what we come up with. So, on to the next model. Okay, the next model I built for the channel was not it was not a lottery draw. This was a car that Heather picked out, and the guy selling this kit to her was telling her about a little bit about the history of the Henry J. If you get a chance, look up a little bit of the history on the Henry J. There's a few good videos out there on this unique car. Every Henry J I have ever seen in person has been turned into some kind of race car. I've seen quite a lot on Google that have been turned into gassers like this one is, or custom hot rods, but I've never in person seen one left stock. This one, in the kit, you could only build it as a race car. And when Heather and I were talking about what color to paint it, because she wanted to build it, but I ended up building it for her, and that's a story for another time, I built it pretty much straight out of the box. She wanted it some kind of pink color, and we settled on this Createx, what is it? Some kind of magenta. I can't remember. Anyway, it is a Createx color. Pearl magenta. There it is. Pearl magenta. Okay. So we settled on this Createx color. The rest of it's, Tamiya paint, I believe. And this was the first time I had ever heat stained headers. And I don't think they turned out too bad. Here, we'll pick it up. My first time heat staining headers. The rest of it, I painted the wheels to match the body. Of particular note is the decals on the side. We decided, well, I don't remember if it was me or Heather who came up with the name Pink Slip, but we designed these decals on the doors in ChatGPT, and then we sent the design to STS Decals, and they sent them back. Best decals I've ever played with. They just went down like a dream. The rest of the decals are from the kit, and yeah, we're pretty happy about how Heather's Henry J turned out. So, on to the next build. Okay, the last build was this AMT Pro Street Super B. I believe it's Dirty Donnie's Super B. This color was another Createx color, Mystic Teal, I think it was. some kind of teal. I don't know. I'm looking for it off camera and not sure where it is. But it is a Createx color. The interior is just a Tamiya semi-gloss black. And I built this in about 2 weeks. My plan for the 2025 Acme, because one of the themes was drag racing, was to create a Star Wars meets American Graffiti and kind of recreate the drag race as if it was in the Star Wars universe. But that didn't work out. So that build is on the back burner along with a lot of others. I did wire this. I do believe that's a Concore distributor and spark plug wires. And let's see, can't get the hood to fit. All right. And this was a box stock build. I wanted something for myself, not just Heather's Henry J for the Acme build. And so I threw this together in about 2 weeks, which for me is very fast model building. I also clear coated it. I think one of my first times clear coating. Not sure. Maybe the Oldsmobile from a few minutes ago was clear coated, but at this point I don't remember. It's kit decals, and like I say, it's box stock with the exception of those spark plug wires. The rear end was a little fiddly, so I'm going to have to get used to that. I would like to do more Pro Street builds in the future, but this was an interesting build. I can't remember if I used bare metal foil or a Molotow pen. I think it looks like I used a Molotow pen for the trim around the windshield and the rear windows. It's kit chrome. Oh, yes. Seeing something else. So, because these headlights are exposed and they're chromed, I bought these headlight decals on eBay that add a touch of realism to them instead of having those chrome colored headlight lenses. And I just then touch them up with touch over them with some clear glue to help add to the realism. So that's the last model I have that I built for 2025, and this wraps up the 1 year anniversary of SJ's Lottery Models. Make sure you leave a like, comment and subscribe, and tell me what your favorite build was. I will have a video on the AeroVette in the next few days. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.